afternoon and welcome to the 15th annual installation of the valedictorian and salutatorian of the class of 2003 onto the Wall of Honor at Attleboro High School. Would you please stand for the salute to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated. This program is dedicated to the memory of Mr. Harold Barbarian, who was instrumental in the founding of the ceremony. It was Mr. Barbarian's dream to capture the history of Attleboro High School for future generations. His interest in the youth of the city will stand as a beacon to the spirit of volunteerism for all that follow him. To reach these top positions in the class is no small achievement. Minimally, it requires perseverance, will, and commitment. We, the class of 2003, are very proud that Erica and Carlin represent all the best that we are. I would now like to introduce Mrs. June Gilge, Assistant Superintendent of Schools.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here today to share in the recognition and celebration of the culmination of 12 years of hard work, and we applaud your effort. We applaud your effort for the work ethic that you bring to this and the effort of your parents to instill that in you, and we share their pride. On behalf of myself, the Superintendent of Schools, and the entire central office, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors. Thank you.
I would now like to introduce Mr. James Hanley, Chairman of Attleboro School Committee.
I'm amazed and pleased to be here, and I was more than a little uncomfortable turning my back on all of you when I sat down in the front row. I noticed that Mr. Nealy, coming from a teaching background, did the most clever thing. He stood up here and watched all of you until he was forced to sit down in the front row. You're not that scary a group. You're incredibly beautiful. You're incredibly handsome. You're incredibly healthy. I'm very proud to be here today, and it is with great pleasure that I congratulate you on behalf of the Attleboro School Committee. Not only the people that we honor today, but all of you who join in the recognition that they are going to receive. I hope the recognition you received here today is recognition that you wished for. I would caution you that you should be wary of what you wish for, because on occasion, your wishes will come true. I remember wishing that I would become chair of the Attleboro School Committee, and even the most benign wishes can come back to haunt you. My second wish is to become mayor of South Attleboro, but that story will await another day. Wishes may fall into the category of self-fulfilling prophecy. This probably means that some of your teachers told you you could do this thing if you tried. Better than that, I would wager that you can tell me the name or names of that teacher or teachers that recognized and inspired you. Minimally, they have set you on the path to this honor at this hour on this day. I would wish that they are cognizant of the honor bestowed on you today. Yours is an honor bestowed on them as well. There are teachers of mine who are aware that my wishes have come true. When I am about to be verbally rash or unkind, I think of the lessons they taught me about discretion and humility. I regret that I do not always succeed in following their example. I am certain they regret my indiscretions even more than I do. That's how teachers are. I would pass on one lesson to you and one wish for you. The lesson: try never to do anything in public that would embarrass your mother and father. The wish, it is the belief of the school committee and the community that we have provided you roots. We wish you wings. Thank you.
I would now like to introduce Mr. Robert Nealy, principal of Attleboro High School.
Thank you, Erica. I want to say how proud I am of the two of you and all of your colleagues here, your classmates here. You're really a wonderful group of kids. Before I do introduce Erica, though, I want to introduce one of your predecessors, Erica. The valedictorian of the class of 1959, Miss Diane Spatch. By the way, Miss Spatch, oh, you would like to say something?
No, I wouldn't. No.
Oh, take the bows.
I did.
By the way, that was a great year, Miss Batchett, the class of 1959. You'll never know why I say that. I do want to say to Erica, I actually surprised Erica that your father's here today. You may know that Erica is going to MIT, but in order to go to MIT, my understanding is she gave up a $60,000 scholarship at Rensselaer Polytech. So I thought her father would probably be inconsolable in his grief. I have a picture of you, Mr. Paveo, saying, Erica, follow the money. But she doesn't. She's going to MIT, not too far away. And we're very proud of her, and I want to introduce Erica Paveo. Erica.
Thanking my parents, of course. Because for one thing, from them, I inherited some crazy gene that would not allow me to skip any stupid assignment, no matter how trivial it was. And there were times that at 3 o'clock in the morning, I absolutely hated it, because all I wanted to do was go to bed. But no matter how sane and drove me, my relentless conscience deserves some recognition today. My parents have been great because they've never really overpressured me. They've never really been breathing down my neck or spying over my shoulder to force me to work or anything like that. They allowed me a lot of independence for most of my life, and while encouraging me and maybe even pestering me a little. My dad has always told me that if I work hard, I don't need to worry about anything. My mom once decided that asking me every night if I had studied for something was a good plan, especially in the recent years. I'm really not quite sure what I was studying for, but I studied for it, Mom, I promise. I want to put a little thank you into my 5th and 6th grade math teacher, even though she's not here today. Mrs. Vogt let me sort of do my own thing when I was in a 5th grade math class, and because of her, I kind of realized the gift that I had in math. If it hadn't been for that, I think that things could have gone a lot differently, and I wouldn't really have known my potential that I had. I've got to thank my girls, who have been so supportive, because that's where the pressure came from. They're so excited to see me up here, and without them, standing here wouldn't mean half as much to me as it does. Sometimes I think that I kept going just for them. I don't know why I'm so sad. Oh my God. There was one time at lunch, I'm finishing up an assignment, and Ashley Creation was making sure that no one would bother me because she didn't want me to not miss an assignment or anything. And even though she couldn't be here, I did tell her that. And when Ellen and I exchanged gripes about an assignment or something, even if she didn't want to do it, she told me I had to. And all right, I guess if you say so, I will. They always seemed to think that I deserved it, even if I didn't think so. And Ken, so what if I brought physics flashcards to lunch to study? That's cool, right? That's so cool. And even though Gorse often gives me way too much credit, her exaggerations are the best way to make anyone feel better. And she should have been here, but she's a little late, so that's all right. She'll be late to the funeral. It's cool. It's her funeral. And I was glad that she was out of the hospital and could make it, but I guess not. As for the rest of my chicas, even though I can't remember one specific instant, it's been more of the same. You've been calling me bad since the beginning of the year. more confident in me than I ever was. And you never failed to bring me back down to earth. Everyone has their airhead moments, so thanks for noticing every time I had one and dwelling on it for 20 minutes. Thank you very much. Appreciated that one. Ben, I gotta thank you for not really placing too much emphasis on the sole characteristic in me. It's only part of who I am, and it doesn't dictate everything that is me, so thanks for realizing that. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank our class advisors. Mr. Walt and Ms. Hickox, you two are the best advisors we could ever ask for. Your dedication and efforts have made our class what it is. From our class meetings that last for hours, even if we have absolutely nothing to do, to the events we've choreographed and experienced together, my time here would not have been the same if it hadn't been for all the time you devoted to us. Sometimes I don't think that you two receive all the credit you deserve, so I wanted to give you that today. Let Mom go. Hi! I know that I speak for many in saying that you two are indispensable with everything that you do. The fun that I've had working on things for our class has helped to keep some balance in my life, so I thank you guys for that. It's everyone's congratulations and encouragement for me that has made this special. I love that these sentiments come from anywhere, even some of the places I might not really expect them from. It is everyone else that makes me realize that it was worth it. Because what would be good in having something if you couldn't share it with people you love? Thanks for sharing this with me.
Actually, Erica, I forgot to give you something. This is the plaque we have for Erica for being the valedictorian of the class. The salutatorian is Carlin Adler. Now, you probably don't know a horse named Seattle Slew. Seattle Slew was the older teachers are saying, oh, everyone was Seattle Slew. Seattle Slew was a horse who always won, but started from the back of the pack, went all the way around about a quarter mile to go, burst into the front, and finished in the lead. And Carlin, my understanding, has always hovered around ranking number 5 or 6, and all of a sudden in the last quarter she had a great spurt of speed and became the salutatorian of the class, because I know I announced it to her and it was a big surprise to her. So, Carlin, I want to congratulate you and give you this plaque. Come up here and say something.
Hi. Yeah, being a salutatorian for me was more of a surprise than a goal. I always wanted to work hard for myself, but I never really thought about being salutatorian. I'd like to thank my teachers for providing inspiration and for really pushing me to become a thinking individual and to shoot for the top. I'd like to thank my friends for going through the same thing that I was going through and for being supportive and listening when I was going crazy with homework and stressed out. And last of all, I'd like to thank my parents for not so much for being more encouraging rather than pushing, and never really help giving me the easy way out, but when I asked a question, they'd never give me an answer, but instead they'd make me look for myself and find my own way. So I'd like to thank them. Thank you.
Now comes the toughest part of the program. I know that Carlin and Adler are terrific students. They're great in their classes, but now they're going to face one of their greatest challenges, which is, we hope, dear God, that they have good fine motor skills, because they have to take this plaque with their names on it and place it up there, and we have 2 very, very tiny little screws in which they have to use. That. drama bills. This is a girl who obviously paid attention to her homework. That screw is fine. She's just got to make sure that it's just right. Now I know what you mean by staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning. Right.
Truly outstanding accomplishment. Throughout the past 4 years, these two students, our friends, have shown all of us what it takes to be true leaders in all aspects of living, learning, and leisure, while maintaining a serious dedication to Attleboro High School. It is not often in the course of life that we meet two individuals of this quality and will be following their lifelong achievements with pride and while sharing in their success as members of the class of 2003. Thank you all for sharing this moment with our honored guests, their families, and the class of 2003. We look forward to seeing you again at graduation.
Thank you all for coming.
I almost got up to give you that.
I don't know why I was so upset. Big crack. Thanks for coming. She's like, and I'm happy that she's here out of the hospital. Yeah. She's not. I just have to No, my dad was
Look, one of you guys.
This is mine.
Hi, Mom. How do you feel today? Are you thrilled? Where are you going? Disney World. Wow.